I'm Dr. Pratibha, Associate Professor in Department of Mathematics, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. This course is about Operation Research for Engineers. Here, Unit 1 is based on linear programming. And what are the various methods in linear programming we can discuss in this unit. Operation Research is a systematic application of quantitative methods, techniques and tools to the analysis of problems involving the operation of systems. Okay, during the Second World War, the military men, while solving complex problems in military, they have to search for a new program that is called Operation Research. Okay, they use this one to solve strategic and tactical problems and suggest ways and means to improve the execution of various military projects with the effective utilization of available limited resources. That is, the optimum convey size to minimize losses from attack and the optimum way to deploy radar units in order to maximize potential coverage against possible enemy attacks. Okay, after completing the successful of Second World War, okay, this new subjects attracts many industrial managers of UK while they were searching for a complex executive problems in their business industry and research and development. There are several features in operation research. The first one is interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary teamwork is essential because while attempting to solve complex management problems, one person may not have the complete knowledge of all aspects like economic, social, political, engineering, etc. Okay, during this time, okay, they have to form a team and that team may solve what are the different criteria on the particular problems. The second feature is methodological approach. Operation research is the application of scientific methods, techniques, and tools to problems involving in the operation of systems so as to provide those in control of operations with optimum solutions to the problems. That meaning is define a problem. After that, we have to form a suitable tool to solve a problem and testing using a hypothesis and analyzing the results. After that, implementing a results. These are the methods are available in OR. Then holistic approach. While arriving at a decision, an operation research team examines the relative importance of all conflicting and multiple objectives and the validity of claims of various departments of the organization from the perspective of the whole organizations. Then objectivistic approach. An operation research approach seeks to obtain an optimal solution to the problem under analysis. The scope of OR. There are several scopes are available for OR. It is resources allocation problem, inventory control problems, maintenance and replacement problems, sequencing and scheduling problems, assignment of jobs to applicants to maximize the profit or minimizing the total production cost. Then transportation problem, then finding shortest route problem for a traveling salesman problem, marketing management problems, then finance management problems, design problems, queuing problems, simulation problems, inventory control problems, etc. The role of OR. In marketing management, product selection, competitive strategies, advertising strategies. In these aspects, we may use OR. In production management, production scheduling, project scheduling, allocation of resources, location of factories and their sizes, equipment, replacement and maintenance, inventory policy. In finance management, cash flow, capital requirement, credit policies, credit risk. In personnel management, recruitment, assignment of jobs, etc. In purchasing, inventory management, rules of purchasing. Distribution, location of warehouses, size of warehouses, transportation strategies. There are several approaches are there. The best and important approach is the QA approach. These are the following steps are involved in QA approach. The first one, we have to define a problem. After identifying the decision variable, then what are the requirements? We have to define a problem. Once we define a problem, we have to select which one is a suitable model for a problem. That is, we select a best mathematical tool to solve a problem. That is called developing a model. Okay, after developing a model, we can acquire an input data. Based on the input data, we may develop a solution. After that, we have to test a solution, whether that solution is the best solution or whether it gives an optimum solution. We have to test the solution. After testing the solution, we have to analyze the results. Whether the results gives the maximum profit or minimum cost, we have to analyze the result. Then after and once the result is a best result, we have to implement the results to whether it is for a factory or wherever we need, we can implement the results. Okay, the first one is define a problem. Once we select a problem, we have to define the problem with the basic criteria. The first one is clear and concise statement required. Maybe the most difficult step of defining a problem. Okay, for defining a problem, we have to select what are the difficulties to define a problem. Then we have to identify the right problem. Okay, the problem may require specific or measurable objects. Then once we define a problem, we have to develop a model. The model may be a physical model, logical, scale, systematic, or mathematical model. It depends upon the parameters. The parameters may be a controllable parameters or uncontrollable parameters. We can define a model. Okay, based on the model, we have to select a variable. That variables are called decision variables. And the model best model may be a solvable model, realistic model, easy to understand, easy to modify. Then there are several models are there. The first one is iconic model. Iconic model retains some of the physical properties and characteristic of the system they represent. This is a physical or pictorial representation of various aspects of a system. This model, iconic model may be a miniature model of a building or globe, rockets, etc. First, we define a miniature of any model. Then after that, analog model. The analog model is uses one set of properties to represent another set of properties with the system under study. Example is maps in different colors may represent water, desert, or river, or geographical features. Then mathematical model. Okay, while using a mathematical model, we have to select some letters and numerical data, etc. To define a mathematical model, we have to define a decision variable. The decision variable may control the system. The system may consist of some equation or inequalities. Based on the equations or inequalities, we can define this model. For example, linear programming model or different equations representing dynamic system, etc. In static model, this model which does not take time into account. It assumes that the values of the variable do not change with time during a certain period of time horizon. This may be assignment problem, transportation problem. It is only based on what is our requirement. It is there is no, we don't bother about the time. Once we find a shortest route, then that may be a best solution. Then dynamic model. Dynamic model is a model which consider time as one of the important variables. Okay, for example, it may be a replacement problem. Okay, once the time is fixed, we have to get the model within the fixed time. Therefore, this one is the best example for dynamic model. Then deterministic model. In a deterministic model which does not take uncertainty into account, surely we may assign a solution for this type of model. For example, a linear programming model or assignment problems, etc. Then stochastic model. Okay, in a stochastic model, okay, uncertainty as an important aspect of the problem. It is stochastic inventory models, etc. Next one is descriptive model. Descriptive model is one which just describes a situation or system based on observation, survey or questionnaire results. For example, an opinion poll. Then predictive models. Predictive model is one which predicts something based on some data. From the previous result, we can predict some result for any of the model. Then the next one is accurate data. Okay, the accurate data is essential. Based on the data only, we can develop the model and we have to solve the problem. Okay, we can get the data from company reports or company documents, interviews, on-site direct measurements, statistical sampling. We can get the data from various aspects. After getting the data, we have to develop a solution. The solution may be a best solution. The solution may be a practical solution or implementable solution. There are several methods for defining a solution. That is solving a system of equation, or we can give a solution based on a trial and error method. Then complete enumeration and implementation of algorithm. We can select any method to get a solution. And after getting a solution, we have to test the solution, whether the solution may be a best solution or we have to modify the solution. Okay, therefore the test must contain input data and model. Okay, then based on this, we have to determine the accuracy and completeness of input data and collect data from different sources and compare. Then after that, we have to check the consistency of a data. Then we have to test the solution. Analyze the results. Understand the actions implied by the solution. Determine the implication of the action. Conduct sensitivity analysis. Change input value or model parameter or see what happens. Then using sensitive analysis to gain understanding of problems. Okay, then if the solution is not suitable for the problem, then we have to select some other method or we can create some other parameter to get a better solution. Then after analyzing the solution, we have to implement the result. It is incorporate the solution into the company, monitor the results, use the results of the model and sensitivity analysis to help you to sell the solution to management. After, based on all these methods, we have to define a particular OR problem. After completing all these steps, we can say the problem is a good model and the solution also gives the optimum solution. Okay, then these are the basics things to form a LPP. Okay, the first one is proportionality. The contribution of each variable in the objective function or its usage of the resources is directly proportional to the value of the variable. If resource availability increases by some percentage, then the output shall also increase by the same percentage. We have to maintain the proportionality between the variables and the availability of the particular data. Then additivity. Sum of the resources used by different activities must be equal to the total quantity of resources used by each activity for all the resources individually or collectively. Then divisibility. The variable are not restricted to integer values. We may accept some non-integer values also. And certainty or deterministic. Coefficient in the objective function and constraints are completely known and do not change during the period under study in all the problems considered. Then finiteness. Variable and constraints are finite in number. Okay, once we fix the variable, then the constraint, then only we can solve the problem. And we have to fix that one as a finite. Then optimality. In a linear programming problem, we determine the decision variable so as to optimize the objective functions. Okay, then if the solution is optimizing, then only we can select that one as a best solution. The problem involves only one objective, namely profit, maximizing the profit or minimizing the production cost. Based on these assumptions, we can form an LPP. Okay, that is a linear programming. Okay, we can see this one through a problem. For this problem, we have to form a LPP. That is Boomerang is engaged in producing two different burgers, namely A and B. Each unit of product A requires 0.2 kg of raw material and 0.4 labor hour for processing, whereas each unit of product B requires 0.3 kg of raw material and 0.3 hours of labor of the same type. Every week, Boomerang has an availability of 6 kg of raw material and 9.6 labor hours. One unit of burger A sold yields rupees 20 and one unit of burger B yields rupees 15 as profit. Formulate this one as a LPP and to determine as to how many units of each type of burger to be produced per week so that the firm can earn the maximum profit. Here, here there are two burgers are there, two different burgers. We can assume that one may be A and B. Therefore, we have to decide the decision variables. The decision variable may be control the entire problem. First, we have to fix what is our decision variable. We can assume X1 be the number of burgers produced, number of burgers A produced, and X2 be the number of burger B produced. We can assume X1 is number of burger A, and X2 is number of burger B. Okay, and we can assume these two decision variables are that is non-negative. They are only a positive variables. Therefore, we can assume X1 is greater than or equal to 0 and X2 is also greater than or equal to 0. And we have to formulate the LPP to maximize the profit. Therefore, our objective function is maximizing the profit. And the price for burger A is 20 rupees and the price for burger B is 15 rupees. Therefore, the maximizing the profit is it equal to 20x1 plus 15x2. Then based on the availability of raw material and labor hours, we can form the constraints, the subject to the constraints. Okay, for burger A, 0.2 kg of raw material is needed, and for burger B, 0.3 kg of raw material is needed. And the total availability of raw material is 6 kg per week. Therefore, we can form a constraint like this. It is 0.2 x1. That is 0.2 kg of raw material for burger A. Therefore, 0.2 x1 plus 0.3 raw material of burger B. Therefore, 0.3 x2. The total availability is 6 kg. Therefore, less than or equal to 6. Okay, this constraint is a raw material constraint. And we have to form one more constraint for labor hours. Okay, the availability of labor hour for a burger A is 0.4. Therefore, we can take 0.4 x1. Then availability for our labor hour for a burger B is 0.3. Therefore, plus 0.3 x2. The total availability per week is 9.6 hours. Therefore, 0.4 x1 plus 0.3 x2 less than or equal to 9.6. This is for labor hours constraint. Already we decide the decision variable should be positive. Therefore, x1 and x2 are greater than or equal to 0. Okay, this is the way to define a LPP. Okay, after forming the LPP, we have to solve the LPP to get the optimal solution. First, we get a solution. After that, we check whether the solution is optimized. The solution may be maximize the objective function or minimize the objective function. If the solution maximize the objective function or minimize the objective function, then only we consider the solution may be a best solution and the solution is the optimal solution. Okay, we can use one method for solving LPP is a graphical solution method. Okay, there are several methods are available. Okay, graphical solution is a simple method. Once we have only two constraints, two decision variable, then we can use graphical method is the best method for solving a linear programming problems. Here, using money units of thousands of dollars and time units of hours, the data for Leo's problem can be summarized as follows. We consider the problem. Here, the money is in thousands of dollars and the time is for hours. Okay, the available resources are money and time. Then saving per share. Then for a venue 1 is money is $1, that is $1,000, and time is 3 hours. Then for a venue 2 is money is minus $1,000 and the time is 1 hour. A saving per share is this is 10, and amount of resource available, that is the money available is totally $1,000 and the time available is only 7 hours. Since Leo must decide how many shares of each venue to take the decision variable. Okay, here we have to form the decision variable. Okay, the x1 may be the number of shares of venue 1 and x2 may be the number of shares of venue 2. He wants to maximize the savings. So the value of the objective function is maximizing the number of shares. Therefore, we have to write the maximizing the number of shares of that is the saving per share for venue 1 is $20,000 and for venue 2 is it is $10,000. We have to maximize this share. Therefore, the objective function may be maximize is that equal to 20x1 plus 10x2. And the available resources are money is for venue 1 is it is $1,000 and venue 2 is minus $1,000. Therefore, the subject to constraints are x1 minus x2. Total availability is only $1,000. Therefore, that is less than or equal to 1. It is based on the money constraint. The another one is time constraint. For venue 1, the time is 3 hours. Therefore, 3x1 plus 1x2. The total availability is only 7 hours, less than or equal to 7. Okay, always the decision variables are positive. Therefore, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, based on this LPP, we can form the graphical solution. Okay, first we have to solve the constraints. Okay, for a constraint, we can consider the solution involves the feasible solution. The feasible solution must be, that is the solution must be a positive solution. Therefore, we consider only the positive solution, that is the first half of the XY axis, that is the first quadrant of XY axis. There we have to solve the constraints. Okay, for this, first we consider the money constraint. Okay, the money constraint is x1 minus x2 is less than or equal to 1. Okay, first we consider the constraint is x1 minus x2. We can equate the constraint to equation. There is a non-negative inequality. We convert the inequality to equation. That is x1 minus x2 equal to 1. And then solve this equation. We get a points. After that, we plot the point in a graph. Okay, first we can assume x1 is x2 is equal to 0. If we put x2 equal to 0, then we get the value of x1. If you put x2 equal to 0 means from this equation we make it x1 equal to 1. Therefore, we get the point is 1, 0. Therefore, we can write 1, 0 in the x1, x2 axis. Therefore, in x1 we can mark the point 1. In x2 we mark the point 0. That is 1, 0. Okay, after that we can assume in the same equation we can calculate the x2 intercept. That is, if we put x1 equal to 0, if we put x1 equal to 0 means then you get x2 equal to minus 1. Okay, if we put x2 equal to 0, x1 equal to 0, then we get a value of x2, that is 0, minus 1. 0, minus 1 is in x-axis 0, y-axis minus 1. Then we mark that point also. Okay, after getting the points, we have to join these 2 points, that is 1, 0 and 0, minus 1, and these two are less than or equal to 1. Okay, therefore, after getting the points, we can draw a line through this point. Then we have to solve the second equation, that is our equation, time constraint. The time constraint is 3x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 7. We have to solve that one also. Then we have to get the solution for that time constraint. Before that, we have to draw the money constraint. Okay, that is, we can join the line 1, 0 and 0, minus 1. Through the point, we can draw the straight line. Okay, then we have here we have to search which one is less than or equal to 1. Okay, the less than or equal to region is only above the line. Okay, after getting a line, for this constraint, we need to draw the graph. It's constraint boundary line. For the line, we can consider the region is the feasible region for this one is above the line. Based on the above the line, we can get a feasible solution. Then we go to the time constraint. The time constraint is 3x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 7. Here also we have to get the x1 intercept and x2 intercept. Before getting that one, we can make it as the inequation to equation. This 3x1 plus x2 equal to 7. After solving this one, we get again 2 points. That is, if we put x1 equal to 0. If we put x1 equal to 0, then x2 equal to 7. That is 0, 7 is 1 point. In 0, 7, in x-axis 0, y-axis 7, we can mark that point, that is 0, 7. If we put x2 equal to 0, then we get x1 equal to 7 by 3. That is 7 by 3. 7 by 3 is, that is 2.3. Therefore, in 2.3, 0, we can draw one more point. We can mark one more point. Then we have to connect 2.3, 0 and 7, 0, 7. If we connect these 2 points, then we get a straight line. That is, through this, we can draw one more straight line. Here, this region is also less than or equal to 7. Okay, less than or equal to 7 means this is below the line. Therefore, the common region between the money constraint and the time constraint is shaded in this graph. That is the line we consider only the common region. This is called the feasible solution. Feasible solution for this problem. After finding a feasible solution, we have to analyze which one is the optimum solution. For getting optimum solution, we have to select the boundary points. The boundary points may be 0, 0, then 1, 0. We have to select the intersection of these 2 lines, and we consider the optimum solution on these intersection points. Okay, after finding a feasible region, we have to select the intersection points. Then we search for a optimum solution. For optimum solution, okay, we consider the first point is 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2 is in x-axis 1, y-axis 2. First we search for that point. Okay, if we substitute that 1, 2 in a given objective function, we get 20x1 plus 10x2 equal to, we get 40. That is, x1 equal to 1 and x2 equal to 2, then we get a 40. That is the first solution. After that, we have to check whether it is a maximum solution or not. Okay, then we go to the next point. Okay, after getting that point, we have to select one more point. That is x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to 4. Okay, x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to 4. We have to search that point also. If we put these 2 points, that is x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to 4. That is 2 into 20 is 40 plus 10 into 4 is again 40. 40 plus 40 is 80. We have to search that value also. Then if we move that point, okay, based on the boundary, you can get several points. If we select 0, 7, in x-axis 0, y-axis 7, that is also one boundary point. If you put that boundary point, then we get z equal to 70. Then similarly, we have to collect all the points. Okay, based on all the points, we may get one objective function may be 40, another one may be 60, then one more point is 70. Okay, based on among all these values, we get a maximum values only at the point 70. Therefore, from this we can consider the objective solution among all these solutions. The objective function, the point satisfied with the objective function is only 0, 7. Which one maximize the objective function? Therefore, from all these feasible solution, we select 0, 7 is the gives the maximum profit, maximum share. Therefore, it gives the $70,000. Therefore, we can say the optimum solution for this problem is x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 7. That is, you select 0% in venue 1 and 7 in venue 2. Then only he gets a maximum profit. Okay, there are several methods for solving a linear programming problem. Among these, graphical method is the very simplest method for solving a linear programming problems. Thank you.